Are you also fascinated by the weird, the gross and the pukey stuff out there? Do you also spend hours on YouTube binge-watching videos about nasty and insane things you've never seen before, despite the fact that some of them make you want to throw up or crawl into a deep dark corner? If the answer to these questions is yes, then congratulations, you've come to the right place. We've brought for you today a compilation of all the weirdest things you'll probably be seeing for the first time in your life. But before we get started, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe and click the notification bell for more such amazing content. Woe unto you if you're one of the 3.5 to 6.1% of those suffering from ergophobia. You probably perceive spiders to be terrifying. They're not. I bet you have no idea what you're looking at. This is a spiny orb weaver, and the crack that's on its back, believe it or not, that's the spider's heart. Spider hearts are located in a vulnerable position on the front dorsal side of the abdomen, in a muscular cavity called the pericardial sinus. The heart pumps from back to front, forcing blood through the aorta to the arteries that feed the legs and the nervous system. If you're ever close enough like this to a spider, you'll see for sure their hearts are beating. Just hold it and think about this little insight when you start to crash down on a spider. You might find this creature lurking in your yard, and just by looking at it, you'll feel something crawling under your skin. That is, unless you feel something crawling over your skin. That would be the amber snail, which has been infected by the green-banded brood sac, which is a parasitic worm. The worm incubates inside the snail, and as soon as the larvae hatch, they invade the eye stalks of the snail, making them pulsate in an odd and gross manner. These stalks get puffed up and look more like caterpillars, and that's exactly what the worm wants. The worm then gains control over the snail's mind and forces it to move out in the open, where the birds in the surrounding area are attracted to the worm's pulsating and pluck the snail's eyes. The parasite gets relocated into the bird and starts reproducing inside it. The bird consequently disposes the eggs with its feces, and this way these eggs end up invading another unfortunate snail, repeating the horrific life cycle of the worm. The scene might look like it's from the future, but here we are with the flying hoverboard. Imagine having such a hoverboard, and it would literally give us the flying experience with control of our legs, just like humans have always fantasized. This hoverboard aircraft has been developed by Hunter Cowold, and he calls his invention the Sky Surfer, the world's smallest and most powerful hovercraft. The Sky Surfer aircraft has a total flight time of about 20 minutes, and it starts at about $85,000. But this could just be the beginning, and we may be able to see such hoverboards easily available with longer duration capacity. Imagine going to your office flying. This could actually save us from the morning traffic, and you wouldn't even require perfect roads to travel. The Chronos ring is this huge ring of cameras. It's the world's first array of high-speed Chronos cameras synchronized for simultaneous exposures for 360-degree high-speed imaging, or staggered exposures for extreme frame rates. We were only able to watch slow-mo video from one particular angle, but now we'll have the ability to watch it from any angle. That too in high resolution and even in 3D. Developed by Chron Technologies, the Chronos ring can be configured with software to use any record mode. It also provides communication between network servers and cameras. It's made to serve the film, broadcast and sports industries with the ability to view slow-motion video from any perspective at any time. This will definitely revolutionize how we view videos now. The rainforest is a feast for the eyes when we talk about the lovely little creatures, from the blue butterfly to the poison dart frog. That said, not all creatures are fighting for your attention with their popping colours. Have a look at this tree back. What do you see? Can you spot the lizard in the clip? Most people don't. The only identifier is the orange flag that seems to wave at us. This Amazon bark anole, it was filmed in Amazon in a national park in Ecuador by the photographer and rainforest enthusiast David Wheeler. This little creature can camouflage well. It's, however, a flamboyant little show-off. To all the swimmers in the house, how long do you think you could hold your breath underwater? Most people can stay for up to 2 minutes. Hold up, how about we throw in a giant boulder in the mix? That's scary stuff, right? This interesting sport is called rock running and helps in improving endurance and breath-holding skills. It involves picking up rock and running with it across the ocean floor. Rock running is quite popular with surfers and is better known as a high heart rate hold. You hold your breath underwater when your body is stressed and your heart rate is elevated. Would you try this? You may think this girl's foot is backward facing as a result of some gory accident, but the reality is quite different. This formation of her limb is completely intentional as she underwent a rotationoplasty. This is a surgery which is done when a young child requires the removal of a section of their leg because of bone cancer. Now, instead of amputating the whole limb and leaving them with a stump, the surgeon rotates the intact foot and reattached it to the thigh. This may seem like a procedure from a medical horror movie, but it's actually quite real and useful, as the backwards-facing foot acts as a knee joint and its nerves keep providing stimuli to the brain, therefore helping the patient achieve better degrees of balance with the help of specialized prosthesis. What kind of things would you find in the desert? Dunes? Scorching heat? Cacti? That's what comes to mind. What you wouldn't bet on finding are these lush green crop circles. They exist in many deserts across the world, from Wadi Rum in Saudi Arabia to the Nevada desert, and can even be seen from space. These green spaces are supported by a special form of irrigation called center pivot irrigation. This system pumps water under pressure from a tabular arm. The arm, better known as a gantry, is anchored by a central pivot and rotates over the area to be irrigated, providing the circular pattern in the process. Field size vary and the circles are usually 1 kilometer in diameter. The darker colours are the crops such as wheat and other large-scale produce that are grown. The lighter colours show the fields that have been harvested recently, taken out of production, or maybe even recently planted. We can't even begin to describe this terrible condition. Just the thought of it makes us want to puke. Yes, you heard it right. This medical complication results in hair growing inside someone's mouth. The cause of this mind-boggling condition can sometimes be a reconstructive surgery where skin grafts containing hair follicles are used to patch up oral injuries. If this hair keeps growing, it can lead to swallowing difficulty, speaking problems, and define some psychological trauma to the patient suffering from this. Props to the therapist who has to treat and clean this mess up. A conversation about human body horrors would be incomplete without the legs of pro cyclists. Just look at these demonic legs of Paul Polanski that were photographed after he finished the 16th stage of Tour de France in 2017. These extra dilated veins you see here are because the muscles demand extra large amounts of oxygenated blood. The dilation increases the blood flow to these muscles to as high as 9 gallons of blood flowing through his legs per minute. That's the price you pay for being a professional athlete. This spiderweb of veins has us terribly aware of our veins. What about you guys? There lies a very fascinating pair of rocks at the southern end of Lamai Beach in Thailand. Since the rock has been discovered, it has been a source of giggles and gossip. And this is so because it looks like male and female genitalia. These rocks are known as Grandpa and Grandma since Ta means grandpa and Yai means grandma. There is a famous story behind these rocks. As the story goes, an old couple named Ta Kreng, meaning Grandpa Kreng, and Yai Riem, meaning Grandma Riem, decided to sail to the neighbouring province of Prachuap Khiri to ask for the hand of the daughter of a man named Ta Mong Lai for their son. During their sea journey, their boat was seized by a storm, and the old couple were unable to swim ashore. It is believed that they died at sea, turning into these giant rocks. We would recommend visiting this place if you ever visit Thailand, but we can't say if seeing these genital-shaped rocks would be a bit embarrassing if you're with the family. Archaeologists usually venture to discover something of antique value. However, sometimes they can also find something very odd. During an excavation in the Polish city of Gdansk, archaeologists, while digging an ancient lavatory, found a 250-year-old adult toy. Experts said that the toy was not made for some religious ritual, that rather it is meant for personal pleasure. The local authorities for the preservation of monuments issued a press release that indicated the object was being preserved in excellent condition and it dated back to the 1700s. We have to say that Indiana Jones would be thrilled to have discovered something similar to this object. Residents living near the Usina de Arte Sculpture Park in northeast Brazil woke up on New Year's Eve to a blood-red surprise, a 33-meter-high vulva erected proudly on a hillside. The enormous sculpture, titled Diva, was installed by artist Juliana Notari with the intention of questioning the problematization of gender. Its arrival came just one day after the country's president, Jair Bolsonaro, said that he would never legalize abortion in Brazil. Writing on Facebook, Notari said of the artwork, "In Diva, I use art to dialogue with questions that refer to the problematization of gender from a female perspective, combined with a worldview that questions the relationship between nature and culture in our Western phallocentric and anthropocentric society." Addressing Bolsonaro's recent comments, Notari said, "These issues are now becoming increasingly urgent," adding that it'll be through changing the perspective of our relationship between humans and between human and non-human that will allow us to live longer on this planet and in a less unequal and catastrophic society. Alright, that's it. What video amazed you and left you gaga? Let us know, and while you're at it, share it with your friends.